Hello traders, we have a duplicate. This is my weekend video. I'm going to talk about a couple sectors that are testing support here. We have a couple, telecom is coming down and it's doing a duplicate, literally a duplicate tag of trendline supports as we got back in last November. Okay, I mean, it's kind of amazing. We had a 3-month value area and it came down, and you know, as of Friday, you know, we closed right above 3 months back on the value. We're doing the exact same thing here. We're closing right above the value. It's almost a mirror image of what happened back in November. So this could be a bounce point. I don't know. We did have some Arista Networks, which is a top holding in this, and Broadcom, which is Avgo. They were breaking out Friday, even though we were testing support here. So let me show you those real quick. As you can see, Arista Networks is right up to its all-time highs as of Friday, and this is the biggest holding in that sector. So that's kind of, you would think the biggest holding in the sector would be down, but the largest holding is actually leading. So that's kind of quite interesting for telecom. And then Avgo, Broadcom, it's breaking out. As of Friday, it was breaking out with a parabolic move here. And this is while the index is actually testing support here. And then finally, we have SBA Communications putting in a double top for this sector. So if you think telecom is just basing here and ready for another leg higher, then there is we're getting some strength in some of the large holdings on telecom right here. On the downside, what's keeping it down to the bottom, Finisar was down 22% Friday on earnings. And as far as everybody else, the leaders on, or the main holdings, there doesn't seem to be any type of earnings coming out this next week in this sector. So just keep that in mind. This thing here just got destroyed on their earnings results. Another sector to be concerned about, healthcare services. We're above our monthly value areas, and we're coming down, and we are testing this trend line. Okay, that was the healthcare services index. Now this is the top holding of the healthcare services, and this is kind of what I like to see for a more bearish chart. When the top holdings are down near the lows instead of the opposite of what we saw in telecom. Telecom, the top holdings were actually leading the index. So this here is probably a good short opportunity in healthcare services short. Okay, it looks like we are basing out here for a possible short for the top holding here. Here's another one of the top holdings, Tenet Healthcare. We're at the bottom of the range, not the top. I like seeing that. Yet another one, Acadia Healthcare Company. Now a little further down on the list for the holdings, Anthem here, which is breaking out to new highs here. That's also held by this fund, ETF. Humana is another one, healthcare services. It's got a double top here. It's got a trend line. It looks like on the verge of crossing if it doesn't get continuation here soon. And another one in the sector, Cigna. It's got some very strong upward rotation here. So all told, got a mixed bag on that one too. So but yeah, the healthcare services providers are at trend support. Another area to keep on watch is your capital markets area. We are on trend support right here. These deal with a lot of your brokers and stuff. Remember, Fidelity just last week slashed their brokerage fees, and for them to do that, that's a good sign that something's not right in the the brokerage business, in my opinion. So just keep this in mind. We got some support here on our capital markets, which could be a leading indicator for financials. For the bulls out there, the REITs really got destroyed this week. We do have a possible bottom in the RTR, I think, yeah, RWR REIT ETF, suggesting we might get some responsive buying into the REITs next week. So keep this one on your watch list. Another big trend that's going on here, the Canadian banks are breaking down. They have a lot of exposure to the crude oil space, and when crude starts making huge moves, these Canadian banks really take it on the chin here. We are breaking out of 2 months worth of value here. So far, we're not even defending last month's bottom yet. So just keep that in mind. They're not looking very good, but there were some call buyers coming into one of the bank stocks. Let me show you. TD March 50 puts. Ooh, they got the puts, not the calls. Okay. So Friday they were buying the March 50 puts in TD. Yeah, you see in TD, it didn't even look back. I mean, look at Friday's action. They were loading up the 50s and it just continued to crash down. So, wow. Not looking good for some of these banks in Canada. Well, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week, but it looks like it all depends on crude. I'll be honest. I think there's more downside room for the crude, and I do see quite a bit of support in a lot of the different sectors. So, and there aren't that many testing support as of this weekend. Okay. So that's all I got to say. Be careful and good trading. Oh, there are two other charts I want to show you real quick. XRT, we are testing support down here. It's bear flagging. Good chance if we get some downside movement in crude and stuff that the retail is going to break down this week. And your XLI is crossing out of trend support, but we do have a high volume node up here, so it's hard to say what's going to happen with that one. It's a lot. Typically, that's where a lot of buyers and sellers will support the price. Okay, that's it.